our friend Jim Callis, who joins us in studio today to give us a little preview of the show. Jim, thanks for coming in early for this today. So without cannibalizing the show and revealing lock, stock, and barrel 1 through 10, give us a sense for some of the names that might be at the higher end.
Well, yeah, I'm sworn to secrecy. I can't tell anybody where everybody's ranked, who's number one. But what I can say, I will tease this. Our end-of-season 2022 list, Francisco Alvarez of the Mets, Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles, Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, we're in the top 3. Probably see, it might be a different order.
Got it.
But you're going to see those guys at the top of our list tonight.
So let me ask you a question about the list, because we do lists here. And boy, do I want no part of making the list. I'd much rather sit here and critique the list once it comes out. So who puts this list together? What's going on with this list and the masterminds behind it?
This was last year's group, by the way.
Okay.
Right, that's our end-of-season list. So it's me, Jonathan Mayo, and Sam Dykstra, the 3 main prospect guys, MLB Pipeline. We each put together a top 125, put in a spreadsheet, average it out, and then we get feedback from 30, 40 people in baseball.
All right.
And it's based on what we've seen, what we've talked about all year. So it's not just 3 guys saying, hey, we like this guy, everybody else be damned. We get a lot of feedback on it, although with any kind of list, number one,
Sure.
Fans of that guy, fans of that team will be like, you got that perfect. And then fans of the other 29 teams will be like, that guy's too high, everybody else is too low.
Right. One of the players you mentioned, Joel was talking about him earlier this morning when he talked about young players that might make opening day rosters, rookies. So it kind of applies to what we're talking about with you as well. Alvarez is fascinating for us for a lot of reasons, because when you come aboard, and if you're going to be an everyday catcher or a guy that gets a lot of reps at catcher on a finished product World Series caliber team, it's going to be a lot of attention on you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's probably got the best power of any player on our top 100 prospects list. The part of his game that needs most work is probably the receiving, the catching. And that's what's interesting because, like you said, this is a team that's looking to win the World Series. It's not, hey, develop as you go at the big leagues. Like, we're trying to win a lot of games right now. So it will be interesting to see. I think the bat's ready. It'll be interesting to see how much play he gets behind the plate.
I mean, we're hearing a lot about this player for the reasons I just laid out, and Joel Sherman has written about him in the Post this morning, and we've talked about him already. Who are we not talking about enough? Are there some sleeper prospect players we should be aware of?
Yeah, 2 guys who probably bottom half of the top 100 who I think could really shoot up the list. One you're going to see in the big leagues this year, Brandon Pfaadt of the Diamondbacks. He's a right-handed pitcher. It's 92, 95, but it's one of those fastballs that guys just don't catch up to. He can miss bats with a slider. He can miss bats with a changeup. Struck out 218 batters in the minor leagues last season. That's the most since Brandon Clausen struck out 220 in 2001. And then this is Chase DeLauder, who was first-round pick of the Guardians last year. Tremendous track record to James Madison. I thought he had the best combination of size, athleticism. Look at those numbers. Performance, great plate discipline, potential 5-tool guy. I really like Chase DeLauder. He's yet to make his pro debut because he broke his foot last spring and then he re-injured it after he signed. But, I mean, look at those numbers at James Madison. And he was great in the Cape Cod League, too, with wood bats. Led the Cape in homers his 1 season there. I think this guy's going to be a star.
Those are great numbers, but we got to work on that photoshopped hat because I don't think that one actually was the one that was fitting him right there. Okay, so which organization is going to be the happiest with you when this list comes out? Who's got the most people in this list?
It's the Orioles. The Orioles have 8 guys on the list. They were our number 1 ranked farm system last summer. We haven't done the new rankings yet. I suspect they'll probably be number 1. And it's legit. I mean, you've got Gunnar Henderson. You can look at that list there. And then what's impressive to me is they graduated Adley Rutschman. Adley Rutschman's the best catching prospect I've seen in 30 years of doing this stuff, 30-plus years. You've got Gunnar Henderson, who's one of the very best prospects in baseball. You've got Grayson Rodriguez, who's one of the very best pitching prospects in baseball. And my pick, a year from now, we're like, who's going to be number 1 on the 2024 list? I think it's going to be Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday, best combination of hitting ability and tools in last year's draft. He's got big league bloodlines. He is so good, and I think he could be number 1 on this list a year from now.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, look, what is your cutoff on the prospect list? Because, the guys on the big leagues and different groups, I'm sure, when they do prospect lists have different cutoffs. What's your cutoff on that?
We just use the rookie rules. So It's essentially if you exceed 50.
So Gunnar Henderson on that list still qualifies as a rookie?
Yeah, for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And 2 weeks into the season, he's going to go over on service timer at bats and then whip him off the list and replace him with somebody else.
All right.
Jamie, we appreciate you coming down. Looking forward to the show tonight. It is the Top 100 Prospects show. Jim Callis was among those kind of crafting this list, and he'll be on the show tonight, 7 Eastern, to reveal the top 100 prospects in the game. Thanks for coming on.
No, it was fun. Thanks.